Give me a moment.
Is everything alright?
Course everything's alright. Just give me one sodding moment. By the stone. I feel like I'm about to fall off the world with all that sky up there.
Is it that strange to you?
Strange? Strange is your wife turning out to prefer the ladies, not living in a world without a bleeding ceiling. Well, let's get moving. We're losing, daylight.
Good boy.
I have a question for it, if it will indulge me. My understanding is that it encountered the smith named Ferelden, he who was responsible for the creation of the golems, that he had become a golem himself. What I do not know is what became of him. Why did he not return with it? I would have many questions for him.
He's dead, Shale. He can't help you.
Dead? But did it kill him? Did he attack it? No. I see in its eyes. It does not tell me because it thinks I would not want to know the truth. Perhaps it is right. May I ask what became of the Anvil of the Void, assuming that it too still existed?
It was destroyed as Caden wanted.
Then it was no doubt for the best. With Ferelden also goes any chance I might have had of finding answers on my past, I assume. Tell me, did it find out anything from Ferelden? Anything at all about how I might have been made?
You haven't made golems from living souls.
Meaning that I was once a living creature? That seems highly unlikely, and more than a little insulting. Is it certain?
I'm not trying to insult you, Shale.
Was I forced into this? Or simply glad to abandon a frail body? And more importantly, who was I? I simply must know. I cannot help but believe that answers lie elsewhere in the deep roads. We must look.
Anywhere so specific?
Yes, no, I don't know. If it can search the deep roads, I may remember something. If not, then I will have to wait.
Something on your mind?
I had another dream about the archdemon.
Yes, me too. And I got the feeling at the end there that it saw us, was aware of us, whatever you want to call it. Could have just been my imagination, I suppose. What do you think?
I think we need to be extra careful.
I thought we were already being extra careful. Does that mean we have to be extra careful now? Great. And there I was enjoying my nap. I guess one thing is certain at least, isn't it? It's official. This is a blight.
Tell me a little bit about Antiva.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
Do you want to go back?
It's not really a matter of wanting to go back. I cannot go. At least not yet. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
I'm not from any glowing gem, no.
No? That is too bad. If you were, then surely you would spend as much time boasting about it as I do. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
Now that is odd.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home, more than anything else.
sound like you've been away from home forever.
Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather, perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Your home is still there, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not.
Now you're flattering me.
I say you are beautiful because it is true. Should I not?
No, by all means.
And glad I am to hear it. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
I must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you?
It means I've been chosen to do something very important.
There's that, of course. But there's more to being a Grey Warden than killing Darkspawn and saving the world from the Blight. Ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others. About serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men.
You mean to say I serve as a protector?
As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men, and you guard them because their continued existence is more important than you are. Thus it is you who serves, not they.
I'll keep that in mind.
A good king, a true king who cares for his land, uses his power to rule firmly but fairly. He serves his people first and foremost. The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant.
I don't want power. I've never wanted it.
If you live apart from others, and your actions affect only you, then you may do as you wish. But if you have power, influence, and strength, your every action will be as a drop of water in a clear, still pond. The drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. Think of how far they will go, how wide they will become, how will they affect the pond. But I've lectured enough for today. I should stop before I wear out my welcome.
What have you there? A mirror? It is just the same as the mirror which Flemeth smashed on the ground so long ago. It is incredible that you found one so like it. I am uncertain what to say. You must wish something in return, certainly.
Don't be ridiculous. It's a gift, Morrigan.
You say that as if I should be accustomed to such a thing. I have never received a gift, not one which did not come at a price. I suppose I should say thank you for the gift. 'Tis most thoughtful. Truly.
Come to talk to old Ogren, have you? Don't know why.
What's wrong, Ogren?
Nothing. I'm fine. Just, I got a hornet in my eye is all. Did you want to talk about something?
I'd like to know more about you.
What about?
You sure you're fine with what happened with Branka?
Oh, sure. I'm fine with it. I mean, she was a real firebrand between the sheets, but a bit soft in the skull, you know what I mean? Explains why she left, anyway.
So you're not broken up over it?
I swear to the stone, the next time someone asks me that, I'll write my name in bruises on their ass. Ancestors take me. You people whine like tea kettles around here. Pull up a drink, Warden. Join me in my sodding hole.
I'd like to know more about you.
What about?
How do you like the surface?
It's sodding great. At first I was a little queasy with all that air, but There's just so much of it. No one has any idea who you are or what you're doing. And the ale. Oh, who'd have thought ale made with grain? Aye, the surface is great. It's like a big, bright world of filth without a ceiling. My kind of place. Hey, let's go find something to kill, huh? All this talk makes my hands twitchy.
This is it. Kadash Taig.
How do you know that?
I do not know. It is an odd thing to experience. These ruins are always overrun by vermin. There may be something noteworthy further in, however. What is this? This I remember. It has dates and names. This is to honor those who volunteered, those who became golems. And there is my name. Shale of House Kadash. I recognize it. I was not created as I am now. I was once a creature of living flesh, a dwarf and a woman. This is a revelation.
Yanvil did use living souls to make golems.
Perhaps. It is one thing to believe, however, and another to know. I will need to think on these things I have learned. Perhaps I will speak to it of them soon. For now, let us carry on as we have.
Step right up, friend, and have a look at the finest selection of almost new armor and weaponry east of Orlais.
Are you Ferelden by any chance?
Oh, you've heard of me. What have you heard? And just so you know, some of my competitors have been trying to besmirch my sterling reputation.
Do you happen to find a canary sword?
Canary? I'm afraid I don't know the word.
It would have been pretty large and unwieldy.
All those. I had one, but I sold it already.
Who did you sell it to?
A collector. I can't go telling you all about my paying customers. One, it's not ethical. And two, it's bad for business. A lot of my customers are sensitive types. They don't want their personal business related to every stranger who happens along.
Tell me or I'll let the original owner know where you are.
If I'd known he was still breathing, I would have used a knife. I mean, I'd have been more careful.
Where is the sword now?
Redcliffe. The guy who bought it lives in Redcliffe. He's a collector. A dwarf named Dwin, I think. I don't want any trouble. If you see that giant, tell him I don't have it, would you? I don't, I swear.
Don't worry.
Andraste bless you, friend.
Go celebrate, or whatever you have to do.
Looking for a canary sword you bought.
Now, why would you be interested in that? And how much is it worth to you exactly?
Name your price.
6 sovereigns.
2 sovereigns. Take it or leave it.
Good enough. It's in my strongbox. Here's the key. Now, why don't you leave me alone?
Strange. I had almost forgotten it. Completion. Are you sure you are a Grey Warden? I think you must be an Ashkari to find a single lost blade in a country at war.
You're welcome, Stan.
I would thank you for this, if I knew how. And I could deliver a much more satisfying answer to the Arishok's question if the Blight were ended. Don't you agree?
So you're staying then?
I am one of the Beresad. I have never abandoned the field with a battle unmet.
I'm glad to have you, Stan.
Yes, it isn't every Grey Warden who has her own Beresad. I will see you reach the Archdemon. Lead the way. You called.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Do you find Ferelden strange?
To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are.
Do the Canary ever want to change their lot in life?
What does that accomplish? The farmer who buys a shop is never a merchant. He is always a farmer turned merchant. He carries his old life with him as a turtle carries its shell.
He might be happier.
Happiness is fragile. Nothing can be built upon it that will last. Only duty endures.
You don't think happiness is important?
You can learn to find it in doing your duty, in serving your people. There is no need to search for it. Shall we move on?
Is there anything you like about Ferelden?
There is interesting food here. You have a thing. It doesn't have a word in the Kunari tongue. Little baked things like bread, but sweet and crumbly.
Cookies?
Yes, we have no such things in our lands. This should be remedied.
I'll keep that in mind.
Shall we move on?
You sound a bit homesick.
Perhaps. It's strange to be in a crowd and hear a language that is not your own. To see faces that are and aren't like yours. I miss the smells of Saharon. Tea and incense and the sea. Ferelden smells of wet dogs.
Dogs don't smell that bad.
Skunks don't mind the smell of other skunks either. Shall we move on?
Let's go.
As you wish. Yes, it is good to have my sword at my side again. I call her Asala, the soul, my soul. She is forged from rare blue steel and has served me faithfully for many years. Yes, you understand what it is like to have a weapon that is part of you. Few others do.